Top 10 tips for managing you. Number 3, words are x-rays. It was just okay. Well, that's too bad. I would expect at a place like this, we're just looking for some dining recommendations for this evening. Can I have more than 2 towels, please? Is there anyone here that can help me with my luggage? While these all seem to be very normal things that guests say, whenever we're thinking about ways that we can manage ourselves, we need to see these words and phrases that guests frequently use as x-rays. I do think that when we consider that words are x-rays, it helps us to make sure that when you can hear what guests are really trying to say, you can reduce your anxiety and be a steady, guided hand that is there to problem solve, to help, and to also support the culture of your organization. I like to think of guests' words as being those things that subtextually give us more information than the actual words do quite often. And while I do think that as a culture we do a very poor job of listening to not just how people are saying something, but also what they're saying together, I think that as hospitality professionals, we need to listen more to what's not being said than to sometimes what is being said. So what are some of these guests really trying to say? Well, let's start with this first one. Well, that's too bad. So break it down. They're saying to us that they're disappointed, right? But, well, that's too bad also implies in many cases that there is a solution out there, but we just haven't tried hard enough to find it. So that's a good example of a way that I might be able to separate the words and the subtext to find the real meaning so that I can be the problem solver in that moment. Here's a good example. Let's say that you ask a guest how their experience at our hotel was, or how the experience at the resort was. And they say, it was just okay. Look at all the different things that I'm saying right there. I'm saying that it wasn't great. My face is saying, I'm being nice by saying this, but you need to be picking up on subtextually that I didn't have the best time. So right there and then you have a moment, an opportunity to show what the culture of your organization is really about. Does it matter to you? Design, services, the destination, the service culture of your organization. In that moment, the response that you give says everything. So I might say something like, okay is not okay. If it's anything less than amazing, we really want to know about it. So tell me, what could we have done to make this better? Or where did it all go wrong for you? Or what were some things that you were hoping to experience that you didn't get a chance to experience? So I'm not just listening to, it was just okay, as what it sounds like. I'm digging in a little bit deeper. And if they say to me in response, no, truly, it was okay. It was what I expected. I may want to push a little bit more for the answer so that I can be the problem solver. I can be the steady hand for that guest. Here's another good example of words and how they could be x-rays. I would expect at a place like this that at the very least you would see a robe in the room. So I would expect at a place like this says, think about it, what do you think? To me, what I hear is, you can do a lot better. Being a problem solver and responding to, I would expect a place like this to at least have bathrobes. I might be able to say something like, we actually do have bathrobes, and I'm so happy to actually hear that yours were not in the room. We will have those sent up to you immediately. Or it could be, I'm so glad that you called us. Robes are available upon request, and I would be delighted to have some sent up to you, along with some slippers. I'm so sorry that those weren't available for you, and I'm also very grateful that you let us know that you were hoping to see those in the room. That's great feedback. If a guest says to you, so what are my options? when you have perhaps not given that guest the information that they were looking for. This is your opportunity again to be steady, to be calm, and say, I have a few options for you, actually. So let's go through those, and I know that we'll be able to find the best. If a guest says to you, is there someone in charge to talk to? That could be a suggestion from that guest that perhaps you're not taking control of the situation. So again, if we're really trying to be helpful and trying to show that guest really that we are in charge and that we do want to help, then I might be able to say, the best person for you to talk with about solving this problem is going to be me. And let's keep working on it because I know we'll be able to find an answer. This does a couple of different things as well. It puts you in a problem-solving mindset instead of a defensive mindset. And it also allows the guest to feel comfortable knowing that you are the right person. So you're making a verbal commitment to that person. So when managing you and managing your emotions, I would encourage you to consider those words as they're x-rays that enable us to get underneath what's being said so that we can truly solve the problem.